Sup Nation, it is Tuesday, Valentine's Day, and of course, my name's Philip DeFranco, and this show is really just me talking about news, attached stuff, and things that matter to me today. And Nation, the first thing I want to talk about today is Valentine's Day. Because I can be pretty pessimistic about a lot of things, but I kind of love Valentine's Day. I mean, yes, granted, it is one of the most aggrandized, bastardized, commercialized holidays that we have in this country. And I mean, no one really knows how Valentine's Day truly came to be. There are several stories, but no one really knows. I mean, like, Valentine's before 496 AD was insane. You had men covered around in goat's blood from a goat that had just been sacrificed, whipping women, and there was sex and craziness. And it was all for this thing called the Wolf Festival, which was eventually banned in 496 AD and replaced with Valentine's Day. And what about Saint Valentine, the patron saint of lovers? And you might have heard the story about how Saint Valentine was imprisoned and he would, like, secretly wed people. Well, that's really just one guess, because there were three notable Valentines of this time period. The thing that sucks for them is they were all executed horribly, so there's that. I mean, you do have the Valentine who secretly married couples, ignoring Claudius II's ban on marriage. When imprisoned, legend says that he fell in love with the jailer's daughter and he left her a note the day of his beheading, a signed farewell note that said, "From your Valentine." Then you got another Valentine that helped persecuted Christians during the reign of Claudius II. The story goes that when he was imprisoned, he healed a blind girl and she could see, and he was beheaded on February 14th. So that one's not so romantic. Then there was a third Valentine. It most likely isn't about him, because all he was is really a bishop, and Claudius II was like, "I hate Valentine's people. Beheaded, I'm Claudius II." There you go, now you know the part real / potential origin stories of Valentine's Day. Yay! But then there's the bad side of Valentine's Day. Like when the CEO of AshleyMadison.com, a renowned cheat on your spouse website, releases the statement and says, "The day after Valentine's Day is our most active day." Essentially saying that the pressures and the stigma of Valentine's Day causes many people to want to cheat on their significant other. And so I guess for that reason, Valentine's Day, not the best thing in the world. And so, you know, that could be the darker side of Valentine's Day. You know, my girlfriend and I, we don't really do the chocolates or anything. We like giving each other presents. I love, like, when Lindsay gives me something, like, emotional. This Valentine's Day, she made a 22-minute video that was, like, of us, like, before we met, but, you know, we were recording videos because we're vloggers up until now, and it was just kind of amazing to see, like, how far we've come. She uploaded the video. It's 22 minutes, so it's really only there to retain my attention. So if you don't watch it all, it's all good. Link in the description. But yeah, like that, a small present, and then we'll give each other maybe like a card like this. Or this. Or my personal favorite, this one. I think that is a girl with a strap on banging a cow. I'm not really sure what that is. So there you go. Valentine's Day. A day that originated from beating women with goat's blood, involved a bunch of dudes named Valentine being beheaded, and now gives you chocolate to fatten up your girlfriend so she can't find anyone else to fuck. Valentine's Day. And we move on. And guys, because it is Valentine's Day, I feel like it is appropriately time for Battle of the Sexy. Because, you know, there are a lot of single guys out there, and there's no one else to love but themselves. So, yesterday, Sports Illustrated showed that Kate Upton was on the 2012 Sports Illustrated cover, and I was like, I don't care. It looks like every other Kate Upton photo shoot. And that's when Sports Illustrated was like, yeah, we know. That's why we also uploaded 100 videos of the models. My favorite was Kate Upton because, you know, she looks great in pictures, but Kate Upton's whole appeal is that jiggle. So if you want to see Kate or many of the other models whose names I cannot pronounce, link in the description. But then, of course, I thought, you know, models on a beach, maybe some of you guys aren't into that, so I included a cosplay gallery for you guys because, yes, I also have weird sexual fetishes. Why want to have sex with a model when you could want to have sex with a model dressed up like Miranda from Mass Effect? Oh my god. But then I thought to myself, well, maybe they're not into models, and that's why I found these pictures of Ashley Tisdale and Sarah Hyland. Oh my god, they're legal. I double-checked that Sarah Hyland was born in 1990. Nothing creepy about that. And these pictures were taken because they were dressed up like that in Venice. How could you not take pictures? And to the straight ladies of the nation who are looking for theirs, too bad. I'm all you get. I don't want to share you with anything. I get a nice little ego boost when people post pictures like this on the internet. Granted, that confession was most likely from a 35-year-old man, but I'm okay with that. At this point, I just like the attention. But nation, like I said, it is the Battle of the Sexy, so do you like the more real-shaped-ish girls, the model-y girls, or the models dressed up as fictional characters girls? Some of those girls aren't even models, they just have huge boobs. That's really all you need to get into cosplay. And nation, since today is still a day of love, let's talk about that gay love. Because it was a great day for Washington State, where the governor, seen here, signed a gay marriage bill into law starting June 7th. So the gays in Washington get to be miserable because they live in Washington and they can get married now. That was just an easy joke. I don't actually know anything about Washington other than it rains too fucking much every time I go. But back on track, part of the love story was going to involve New Jersey. And that's because the New Jersey Senate passed a bill legalizing same-sex marriage, and everyone was like, yay! But that is most likely because they had not heard that Chris Christie had vowed to veto this if this ever went through. It's been a known fact for a while now, and many many people in the state Senate are saying, you know, this is just an act of futility. As a side note for new viewers, if you do not know, I am for gay marriage. Or rather, I don't care about the term marriage. I think legally, two people of the same sex who have the equivalent of a marriage, or whatever you want to call it, I don't really care. That's a religious thing. Should get all the same benefits of a marriage in our country. Tax benefits, the ability to see someone in the hospital when they're hurt, you know, those sort of things. That makes sense. And I give props to the New Jersey Senate for putting this through, even though Chris Christie said, I'm going to veto it. Because now it's at the point where Chris Christie is going to have to take a moment to pop his head out of his ass and go, oh, I'm putting my money where my mouth is. But Chris Christie, while being a bastard, is also awesome because he doesn't give a shit what anyone else thinks. And so that's for better or worse. Today, I think it's for worse. A nation from there, we move on to something that I love, and that is the interwebs. And that's because several groups of economic researchers looked at the cold, hard facts and came back with BitTorrent, and sites like BitTorrent actually do not hurt the US box office. If you don't know what BitTorrent or torrents or any of that is, it's essentially file sharing that's really, really smart. Also connected to piracy. But when the researchers looked at everything, they noticed that US box office sales were essentially intact. Fine if a movie was downloaded a lot. But I say US box office because they found that piracy really, really goes up and actually does affect the box office on staggered international releases. For example, in America, that Reese Witherspoon Tom Hardy movie is supposed to come out on Friday. Where research shows that even though those good actors are in a movie that looks terrible, as long as that movie is released around the same time internationally, piracy to, you know, box office sales, you should be fine. But the real problem is, you know, if that movie gets released in the US and then is not released anywhere else for 3 weeks, then people will pirate the shit out of that movie and then not go to it. And so I guess the main thing that I got out of this, which was really interesting, was that if people have the ability and the capability of buying something they want, they'll pay for it. And so it's funny to think that one of the biggest anti-piracy measures is really just availability and scheduling. I mean, a lot of these studios are going to spend millions of dollars like fighting people trying to steal their movie. Just use that money and make the movie available to everyone at the same time. I mean, personally, I think the future is going to be, you know, you can go to a movie theater or digital rental download thingy. Because right now, everyone is fighting the battle of which screen you're going to watch it on, but eventually it's not going to matter. The internet's getting faster, TVs are getting bigger, they're also cheaper, but I don't know. That's just what I think. And nation, we move on to our final story of the day today, and that is AT&T. That is because the heavily criticized cell phone company has an unlimited data plan that turns out isn't so unlimited. In fact, even though the plan is called unlimited, it turns out that the cell phone company throttles down their users after a certain point. The problem for many AT&T customers, like myself, is that we could not tell that the phone wasn't working because we're already used to a shitty service. Because essentially the way my month starts out is, oh, this is the best phone in the world, it works everywhere and it's fast enough. Then at a certain point, maps really don't load fast, like pages like slowly crawl in, like I'm expecting to hear like for you kids, that's a 56K modem sound. And it turns out it's because AT&T takes the top 5% of data users in a certain area and crushes their data after they hit a certain point. And who this really affects are these 17 million people like myself who are grandfathered into an unlimited plan. AT&T spokesman Mark Siegel defended the company saying, well, last month we didn't throttle 5% of people, we only did 0.5% of people. Which I kind of found hilarious because that meant Mark Siegel defended his company, AT&T, by saying that we only fucked 200,000 of our customers. So main point, here's the deal. I love my iPhone. I truly do. In fact, it was one of the only reasons that I was with AT&T, a service that I find inferior. In fact, the service has been so bad at some points that I walk around with a Verizon MiFi so I can make sure I get my email. But lo and behold, we now live in an age where there is an escape for iPhone users. And it's with those lovely people over at Verizon. In fact, one of my favorite things about the rumored iPad 3 is that you'll be able to get 4G LTE from Verizon, which would mean that the rumored iPhone 5 would also be able to use 4G services from Verizon when that comes out. And so what I think is that, you know, what I consider AT&T essentially knowingly fucking over their people, I think they're going to see a huge base leave once people actually reach the end of their contracts and can leave AT&T without them charging those crazy-ass cancellation fees. And honestly, I think Verizon's just going to take a huge leap because for a very long time, silently, they just built that 4G network. And if you've ever actually used Verizon 4G, it blows my mind. Like, I uploaded full HD videos from the road with that thing. So I guess my main point with this is, one, AT&T, I'm leaving your ass soon because you're assholes. And two, when a company like AT&T writes a check their ass cannot cash, it should not fall to the consumer to suffer and take up the slack. So super mega ultimate point, those douchebags at AT&T are our douchebags of the day. Actually, a question of the day is, what cell phone service do you use, and do you love it? Do you hate it? Why? Because obviously the grass is always greener on the other side, but I'd love to know. leave your comments down below. Hey guys, that has brought us to the part of the show where I'll throw something at your face, and today it is a love poster and $50 worth of stuff from forhumanpeoples.com. That's of course where we sell a lot of the Philly D and other awesome gear. And of course, to possibly get said things thrown at your face, you just gotta leave a comment on this video. And also a big thank you to those of you that remember to clickety-clack the like button, favorite when you really like it, share these videos how you do. And guys, if you have not been 100% filled in, remember to check me and my buddies over at youtube.com/sourcefed. SourceFed, there we go. We have about 5 videos over there today, but of course, as always, my name is Philip DeFranco, and you've just been filled in. Love your faces, and I'll see you tomorrow.